welcome to the underside of the bus. We are behind the rear axle. Have the diff here. I don't know how well you can see underneath here, but I'm going to film this and hopefully you'll see what I'm on about. So yes, we've got the diff, we've got the rear axle, we've got the chassis and the chassis supports. As you can see, I've already started cleaning this up and giving it a coat of paint. I'm going to obviously do some more, but obviously what I'm going to do at the moment is my intention is obviously in this space between this front or the back, very back support, cross support we'll call it, the one that's just behind the diff. My plan is to try and put in this space, this void here, the spare wheel, and hopefully just squeeze in the front here the diesel heater. That's the plan. So the diesel heater then can go off. You might be able to see it over there. We've got some pipe work going already. The hole to go through for the ventilation to pump that hot air in. So I'm thinking about putting diesel heater here, and then there should be just enough room to have that spare wheel. So obviously we need to come up with some sort of frame that goes across to support the heater and to somehow attach the spare wheel. At the moment what I'm thinking is just having one of those sort of ones on a wire that hooks into the wheel, and then it just sort of jacks the wheel up and holds it tight against the bottom. That's currently how I'm thinking, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a play, build something, and then we'll bolt it to these two and see how we get on. It may be a bit crude, but as long as it keeps that that spare wheel there and holds that diesel heater in place, then at least they've got something to keep us warm and obviously store a spare wheel, which is definitely needed if we're going to do a few miles. So I'm going to get on with that, and then I'll bring you back in when this frame is kind of at a point where it's usable, or I can show you what the idea is a bit further. So let's get on with that. Okay, so I've gone for a slight change of plan. Obviously I was going to, like I said before, create a bracket that did the spare wheel and the diesel heater, but I've actually had a change of plan on the spare wheel idea. So I'm just going to concentrate on just the diesel heater. So I've knocked up a bracket using the plate that came with the diesel heater, and then I've just welded that onto some of the spare box section I had from doing the seats. So this will bolt on to here, and then the diesel heater will go on top. So I'm going to bolt this on now, get the diesel heater in, and then we can start plumbing the diesel heater in. Also, to assist with getting the diesel heater fitted with that new bracket, I've made up a couple little brackets, just welded the bolts on so that when they poke through, obviously then they won't rotate, and I've got to try and get behind here with a a socket or something in the future. I've just got literally studs to play with, so yeah, they're going to help with them as well. Okay, so that's the diesel heater fitted. That's hopefully going to hold it nicely, and I've hopefully left myself enough room for that spare wheel. I could probably shorten it down a little bit more if I need to, but I think we're pretty good. I'm in line with this cross beam here, so that should give me plenty of room to fit a bracket and get the spare wheel in later on. So I've got to do the heat outlet pipe, which is going to go over to the hole I've drilled to go inside. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. It's probably, the heat is probably the way, but I'll show you that in a second. And then we've got to get the exhaust pipe and the fresh air for the combustibles put in as well. So one's going to go one way, one's going to go the other way. So I'm putting the exhaust the same side as the exhaust for the bus. So that keeps everything together, and it's just going to go outside and get those combustibles out of the way. So I'm going to get that tube and we'll fit that next. This is my exhaust pipe. It looks ridiculously long at the moment, but it's supposed to be long enough, but I can always cut it down. That's always a bonus, isn't it? So this has got to go, if I bend this carefully, this will go into here, and then my plan is to have it go off that way and out the side of the bus there. Okay, so here's our warm air pipe. I thought this is supposed to be a 2 metre one. I haven't pulled it out. You can sort of I don't know, extract it, make it longer, pull it, and it expands. So this is going to go basically on the end of here, and then round, and up to the intake, sort of inside the bus over there. So that's going to go on there like that. Obviously, got to bend that to shape. Okay, so there's the exhaust pipe. There's the warm air pipe going through, and up there. Obviously, this is all just put in here, put in place for now. I've got to obviously mount these and put clips in to hold them in place. But obviously, if I bring it in closer, you can see there's the warm air pipe, and it goes down and up through there. Let me get some more light on the subject. You can just about see it, but not quite. So there you go, up there, goes up through the floor, and then I'll show you the bit above. So here's the pipe, the heater pipe coming through the floor. There we are currently underneath the bathroom sink, so it comes up through here, and then it's going to come round, and then I've put an air vent, which I'll show in a second what it looks like from the outside. I've put an air vent so that connect the two up, and obviously that will pass up through and into obviously the living space. I don't know if you can notice, but I've drilled out a small hole here so cables can come up from diesel heater as well. They're going to come up through here and go up, and then up this wall, and then we'll have the panel the other side of this wall somewhere where we can reach it, so we can adjust the temperature, turn it on and off. And then we have the pipe in situ. That's all now nicely bolted in. That'll obviously, when the shelf is in and the front's on, you won't see this or any of the cables hidden underneath here. We've got other water pipes to come through here at some point as well, but obviously that's for a later video. So at least we've got that tube now in position, and we can get some nice warm air into the bus. I'll show you the other side of this vent. And there's the vent, the outlet. So that comes out on the bottom of the wall where the bathroom is. So then that'll kick straight in, obviously nice and low. So then obviously heat your eyes and fill the whole room up with some lovely warm air. Okay, so the other things we need, obviously, now we've got the unit in, is I've put the pump on the frame here. This is the wiring. We've got the wiring all connected, and then as you can see right at the back here, you can see I've put the fuel filter that then goes off down towards the tank. I've put a hole in the top of the tank, and then a feed pipe that goes like separate feed pipe that comes up from the tank to that filter and then to the pump, and then that connects in underneath here. And then we've got the air intake, which is kind of a temporary fit in. I may do something with this later, but obviously it'll work for now. And then obviously the exhaust, as we've already shown. So this I'm going to try running it, and I'm going to see if it works, gets obviously a nice warm air down the pipe, which I'm sure it will do. Okay, so here's the controller and the remote. I don't know why you need a remote, but obviously there's a remote. So the controller, I've just literally haven't bolted it to the wall yet because I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to run it up, make sure that the machine works, and then we'll just mount this later on when we've got some better idea where we're going to put it. And there we go, there's the diesel heater all plumbed in. I've just had it running, so I'm not going to touch this pipe here. So yeah, so it's all running. It's only a cheapy heater, but it does seem to work quite nicely. So obviously we'll see how reliable it is over time. But that's that part done now. And there we go, a carbon monoxide meter feed, because obviously we want to make sure that with that diesel heater running, we want to take no chance. We want to make sure that if there's any fault with carbon monoxide, burning badly, somehow leaking through, recirculating bad air, we want to know about it. So I've fitted this here so then we can keep ourselves safe. And that completes the install.
You have been watching Short Skoolie UK. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.